Yo, what's up? It's Kadeem. I'm back for chapter 3, but I actually want to finish up on chapter 2 right quick. Touching bases when I was talking about the food was so scarce. I remember my brother Fats used to actually had to wait for the janitors at the elementary school we used to go to every day to throw out the food, and then he used to, go in there and take the food, so he could take back to the shelter, save for later, just in case, there's people in there with no food. We used to pass that out, That was at the time. I ain't even know that was at the wrong at the time. I thought that the funny thing is we wasn't the only kids in there doing that. There was other kids in there doing that too, and that's how it was. And also at tell you how low like the father rate is in Philadelphia. I remember the schools they do like this father program to the students. Like students, I guess they ain't around their fathers a lot or that are real in trouble. They give them a dad, and that guy is supposed to be the dad. But I feel like probably like 75% of those kids actually really didn't have a dad. So that's the only dad they had in life was that pretend dad. Tell me that ain't some fucked up shit. How you gonna have a guy come to pretend to be your dad because your dad's not around? Like, why would you have him come do that at school? But that's at the shelter. That happens all the time. That's not the only school that happens. That it happens at all of them. But back to that's the end of the shelter. I want to start chapter 3. I'm sorry. It's called 21st and Diamond. After we moved out the shelter, my mom got a nice little apartment, 21st and Diamond. I remember like a few days before I moved in, she came, she showed us around. She was very excited. So we move in. Everything's nice. We meet some new friends. But since we were still actually registered in the school back at AB Day, back where the shelter was, we had to wake up extra early every day and catch the bus. We was always late. Always late. Like school started at 8. We got there at 10:30. I don't remember actually how long they let us come late before they transferred us, but I remember we was going there extra late. It was more than a week, more than 2 weeks, more than 3, more than a month. I want to say that's still too long. Like when it was. The funny thing is, the other school that I started going to after I transferred, it was only probably like a block or 2 away. But we had to wake up, catch the bus probably like an hour or 2 away just to go to school. And I'm still in elementary school. Like, damn, there's a school right there. Can I just go to this one? But yeah, and that was that. Finally after we transferred schools, everything started going nice. I remember my brother's happy because one of the old teachers actually transferred to that school also, and it was good friends with her, But I remember this block, touchy subject right here, touchy, letting it all out, boy. All right, I'm gonna be a free man after this, dog. Y'all just don't know. All right, if y'all just don't know, I was sexually active at a very young age. 21st and Diamond. That's the first time I actually got to really, when I say really see sex, I mean really see sex. I remember there was girls younger than, I was probably 8 at the time. There was girls younger than me that was actually out. I was still a virgin at the time. There was girls out younger than me that was already had sex before I was. There was girls younger than me telling me what sex was, telling me to touch them right here, look at this, I didn't know what that was, but I remember, I'm not going to say any names of this, letting it out, but I had this girlfriend, her name was, what was her name? I had a girlfriend. I see that, I remember she actually had sex with one of my friends, this white kid that actually lived in my neighborhood. He was nasty too, but, she had sex with him, and, somebody came to me like, yo, she want to have sex with you. She want to have sex with you. I'm like, what? Like, what's sex? Like, I thought sex was like you touch somebody's belly button, But that's when I finally got to realize what sex was. Honestly, I'm here to say this. I'm here to say this strongly, and I ain't embarrassed to say this shit, dog. I lost my virginity when I was 8 years old. 8 years old, lost my innocence, gone, just gone, and I feel like that's That shit felt good. Shit, he got off my chest. I don't give what the fuck y'all think about me. That's team talk. Alright. But my innocence was gone, and me and my girlfriend, you know, we used to always, I ain't say we always had, that was the only time I had sex with her. But like I remember we used to go behind this little tree. You know, it was like these big trees. Big trees, you know, since the grass was no, the trees actually fell. The trees fell, and the weeds grew so long that we used to go through the weeds and hide in like the little wooded area. You know, we used to do some nasty stuff. Not like nasty, but like kiss. What I thought was nasty, like kiss and touching the butt and stuff like that. But yep. And I remember one time, like in Philly, I don't know if y'all know, but they just don't have no regular lock where you can probably jiggle it and get out. We got these, like, it's probably like 3 bowl locks on every door in Philly. I promise to God, it's 3. And we had 3, and I ain't had a key for none of them. I had to take a shit, dog. Like, so how nasty is this? I remember I had to run across the street to this empty lot, take a shit in the empty lot. And then I don't know if y'all Philly, they got these big, like, people from Philly know what I'm talking about. In Philly, they got these big old green leaves. They almost look like I want to say like an ivy leaf, but I don't even know what an ivy leaf look like. But it just reminds me of ivy leaf. Took my ass, wiped my ass with that a few times so it got done. Nigga, that's some hood shit. Like, there was an abandoned house. I remember it was blue. It was actually to the right when you walked down. We used to always be out in there hanging out. It's fun. I remember sometimes we'd be in there hanging out. And like you see bums in there, you know, you don't know what they're doing. You know, you see them doing drugs, but you really don't know what they're doing, you know, because at the time we thought smoking cigarettes was really drugs, and we thought, you know, little shit like that. Well, we knew what crack was, because you always see it on TV, but drugs they was doing. I just found out recently with the needle and the arm and stuff was that's what they was doing back then. But yeah, I'm falling off topic. I'm rambling again. Blue House. I remember sometimes it was like this pipe you went up through the back and get over to our house from the abandoned house. Some of us used to climb on this pipe to go into our house when we got locked out, or when my brothers wanted to sneak out. That's what I think they was doing, you know, going like this, whoop, 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 back down. You know, and some of them used to, these dummies, it's a big gap like this. It's our house, and it's like, the houses are, y'all should know what London looked like when the house was all together. The houses in Philly are like that. And it was one house, and there's like a gap, and it was another house. These crazy motherfuckers used to run and jump like over. That's why y'all see them niggas in the app. That's why y'all see them people in the Olympics. That's why they so fast, because they do stupid shit like this. It's abandoned house, empty space, abandoned house. These niggas used to run and just boom, they just jump like I had to get like I'm testifying. I'm telling it all. I'm actually go over 10 minutes, man, because I feel like talking right now. You know, I'm 21st and Diamond. Whew, I remember a lot from the street. My dad, no respect, I love my dad now, but I'm telling the story how I saw it when I was younger, and no disrespect now, let me just get out the way. But my dad, I remember he used to always come over, and he used to break out our windows. You know, he used to come up and stand on the steps. And we was on the second story apartment, and he used to come and throw a rock up, like, break all our windows. And every time I came, it's not every day, but probably like it happened 3 times that I can remember. And one time I remember he was actually out doing it, and we stopped and was like, no, Dad, just don't break the windows, don't break the windows. But the majority of the time they happened, I was at school, except that once, so I don't know why he always broke the windows, but that's what he used to come do. I remember one time I was laying on the couch, and we had this, that's the only thing nice we had in this apartment. Whew, fuck, I don't remember it at all now. Alright, I remember one time, the nice thing we had in our apartment was this TV, nice old TV, and, you know, and we had the nice remote for it and stuff. And damn, you know we broke when I'm talking about a nice ass remote. But